We're here at Renegade Brewing, and I'm with...
Keith Decker.
And Laura Decker.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about your role here at Renegade.
Yeah, so really Laura and I are the first two employees. So we are husband and wife. We actually met through the brewery a while back, but after dating for a few years, we got married. But yeah, so I do sales at Renegade. So basically, I started out in the beginning in the tap room, did a little bit of sales, worn a lot of hats through the growth. But at this point, the company's grown to where we now get a little more specialized. I've grown into a sales role, so I just basically do everything that happens outside of the brewery is where I'm at, and everything that happens inside the brewery is where Laura's at now.
Yeah, I started in the company working in the tap room and just kind of took on more responsibilities as it grew. At this point, about 6 months I've been acting as the VP of operations, and so I manage the daily and weekly schedule of the brewery and also help support the tap room.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit about when you guys started at the tap house to how you got here, because this facility is huge, and I don't know if a lot of people know that you guys have 2 locations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been in this facility for about a year now. We started brewing in here officially, what was that, back in January maybe?
I think first brew was December.
Cool. But yeah, so it's been through a lot of hard work is a good answer. I got into the industry, I really didn't know anything about beer, and I kind of fell in love with the craft beer culture. Started out with Brian at the tap room, started on a small scale, and I've just been a sponge for the last 4 years, learning everything I can. And my interest was in sales in the beginning. Nice thing about brewing is it's great camaraderie in the industry. I mean, it's really fun going outside of this place and working with other breweries, working at festivals, getting to know different people. And it's just a great culture of people to work with, and that's...
So right now we just finished phase 1 of a 3-phase expansion, and we're starting phase 2 in a couple months. So the facility that we're in right now, our original tap room is 3,000 square feet. 1,000 of that is the actual tap room itself. About 500 square feet is our cooler, and that 1,500 square feet was our original brewing space. It was really small.
How large was that original brewing space? What were the fermenters in there?
We had a 15-barrel system, 3 15-barrel fermenters, 2 30s, a 30-barrel bright tank, and a 45.
All packed within 3,000 square feet with our tap room.
I don't know how we did it. It was awful. Our offices were lofted on top of the cooler in the bathrooms, and we climbed ladders to get up there.
Nice.
Oh, I'm glad those days are in the past.
And towards the end, we had a canning line in there as well. So once we were canning, it was literally every square foot of that brewery was taken up. It was just...
Yeah.
Do you guys still use that facility over there to brew?
We do. So being done with phase 1 means that we moved into the 7,500 square foot facility. We'll eventually have 15,000 square feet, so we're in half of our space that we'll take eventually. So right now, our 15-barrel brew system still lives and works at 9th Avenue. We're building a new brew system here, a 30-barrel 3-vessel system.
Okay.
That'll be installed, or it'll arrive in about a month. It'll be installed over the course of the next month or so, along with a milling room and a silo and all that stuff. But right now, because our system is better left at 9th Avenue, it costs a lot of money to move brew systems.
Yep.
So we decided to keep it there, and for the past year we've been toting wort from 9th Avenue to 1st Avenue to knock out into our 60-barrel fermenters. And so we'll do 2 brews a day on the 15-barrel system, so 30 barrels. It takes 2 people a full shift to do that, so right now it takes 16 hours to do 30 barrels of beer. Once we install our new system, it'll take 8 hours to brew 60 barrels of beer. So along with that new brew system, we'll have another fermenter. Right now we have 3 60 barrels and 2 30s, so we'll be up to 4 60s and 2 30s by the end of the year.
So I'm just seeing stacks of cans behind you. How much, what are you guys doing? How much are you canning every month?
Canning...
That's a good question.
Yeah, we're certainly a pretty large canning company. I mean, as you grow as a brewery, your sales are going to shift towards off-premise. That's really where you make more money. So really the majority of our revenue at this point is generated through our can sales. I mean, draft is also a part of that, and it's a very important piece of it, but that's really, helping you get people to try your product, get recognized to it. And, most people are going to buy your beer at the liquor store. And yeah, when you look at, that is one interesting thing, you look at once you get into a canning operation, and, at this point we have 5 full-time beers plus a seasonal and a mixed pack we're doing, and that takes a lot of cans to store to do that, because each you know, your minimum orders on cans are very large. That's one thing I don't think people realize when they're looking at a brewery. Once you go into canning and you start adding more SKUs, you need an enormous amount of space just to store those empty cans.
Yeah, it used to be you could split a trailer of 25 pallets you can fit in there. You would split it between 2 brands, but now they've actually increased the minimum orders so that you have to get 25 pallets of one single brand.
Wow.
Which is a lot of cans, and so really storage is a huge issue. When we get the other 7,500 square feet, it's almost going to be entirely storage for cans and kegs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That will be massive. So you guys are distributing around Colorado to different liquor stores and such. Where else are you distributing? Are you out of state?
We are. So we're in Kansas, Nebraska currently. We've been in those markets for about a year now, and then we're going to be opening up Wisconsin soon, and then we're going to open up Arizona as well.
And you guys keg then obviously, and you get out into restaurants. Where's your prime location for those? Are you guys all over? Or you guys kind of focus on the Denver metro, or?
You know, being a Denver-based brewery, I mean, Denver Boulder metro is really our strongest territory. I mean, you know, in this industry, people really do want to support local, and the closer your tap room is to where you're selling your beer, the happier people are going to be to see your beer.
Absolutely. So what beer is your most popular?
Redacted Rye IPA.
Yeah.
Really?
Definitely our #1 seller, yeah.
So is that your best in sales as far as cans go as well?
Yep, cans and draft. That's our #1 beer.
Very cool. What styles of beer are you guys kind of famous for?
You know,
Yeah, we're famous for doing things a little bit off style, but very thoughtfully done. So I think our pale ale is a great example. Concilium, the word itself means wisdom, judgment, or counsel, and I think that's a great explanation for the beer. So it's a pale ale, and it drinks like a pale ale. If you want a pale ale, this is going to satisfy your need. But more than that, it's a very complicated beer. It's our most complicated recipe. We use oats to give it a bigger mouthfeel, more of that English style pale ale. We use a little bit of lactose to increase a little bit of that sugar content and to boost that mouthfeel as well. Blend of English and American hops so that you get that earthiness that you're used to in an English pale ale, but a little bit citrus on the end from that American citrus hop, and we also add a little bit of orange peel in there. So really, it's a complicated beer, and it doesn't fit into any particular style. I mean, it does. It's a pale ale. If you want it, that's what it's going to be. But once you look a little more into it, you see that it's not a common pale ale.
And I think the important thing, it is a great example of what we like to do with our beer styles. But the important thing there is that pale ale is made to meet a demand in the market.
Sure.
You know, people do want those full body, lower alcohol beers now.
Absolutely.
Nice hop character to them. And the way we went about that is we didn't want to jump on that trend and, you know, call it a session IPA, do the same thing everybody else is doing. We also didn't want to use gimmicky adjuncts. You know, there's a lot of interesting things in that pale ale you don't typically see in a pale ale, but we essentially took what we learned from other styles that we've made and applied it to that pale ale. So that's really, with our development of beers, that's what we're all about. We don't want to rely on gimmicky things. We want to learn from styles and then use what we learn to push style guidelines further. And I think that's what American craft beer is all about.
Sure. Which kind of caters to my next question I'm going to ask is the scientific method versus kind of the trial and error method. I mean, you guys are very dialed into your recipes. You have to be canning at this, you know, this productive level. But do you guys tweak recipes at all? Do you guys have those recipes change over time?
Yeah, a good example of that is Hiatus is our cold coffee infused oatmeal ale. It's a beer that was built for the coffee that we're using. It's more of like an iced coffee beer. You don't get the bitterness, you get a nice malt character to it. That recipe changed a lot as we were, you know, nailing it down. So it started as a small batch that we brewed for our anniversary party. We really liked it. We tweaked some things. At that point, it had lactose in it, and we used some different coffee. We tweaked our coffee infusion method, and once we were finally happy with that product, then we were starting to, you know, like at that point, that's a recipe that we're not changing anymore. That's when we put it in cans. That's when we send it out to the market. So there's a lot of science behind it. You know, it's really looking at ingredients and how they're, you know, like for instance, in that the coffee, if you boil it, it's going to become bitter and it's going to change in flavor over time. With a cold infusion, you're getting a better flavor. We actually cold infuse into the beer itself, and so you're not diluting it at all. You know, there's a lot of science behind it, but it's definitely a creative process to get